Hello everyone, welcome back to Isadora. It's really good to be back. So today I have a very different topic, right? Only because I was having a conversation with a few people earlier today, and we were discussing the exact same thing. This question has been plaguing me since like forever, right? So what I wanted to discuss today was about mental health. I'm kind of asking a question, so I'm putting out my opinion out there, but everybody has an opinion on this, right? So today I'm discussing mental health. Is it clinical or is it spiritual? About a few weeks ago, I saw on social media, and somebody had mentioned, and somebody had asked the question like, okay, somebody had said mental health is more spiritual than it is clinical. And to be honest, a lot of people disagreed, right? A lot of people disagreed. It was really funny to read. In fact, they didn't just disagree. A lot of people came for this person like, oh, why would you say that? Of course it's clinical. Of course it's this. Of course it's that. So I thought it was something that was worth discussing, right? So I wanted to put it out there and just air my opinion. Like, everybody's got an opinion at the end of the day. So here goes it. But before I start, please join me very quickly and we'll say our Lord's Prayer. It's become my thing now, so once I shoot my videos, I try to do that. So let's do it. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thou is the kingdom, the power, the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Okay, so yeah, let's get into it. So mental health, is it clinical or is it spiritual? Right. In my opinion, personally, I don't watch the news a lot, not very much, only because like I wouldn't necessarily go and tune the channel to like or turn the channel to a news channel. I wouldn't do that. If somebody else did it and I walked into that, I would join in, obviously, but I wouldn't do it by myself, only because however, I do keep up with news and current affairs. I do that through a blog or something. So I try to keep up with this stuff through a blog, only because, right, I use it to keep down my negativity, right? Because with a blog, it's got so many other things. It's got entertainment and it's got all sorts of things. So by the time you read the bad stuff, then you get to read the good stuff. So that way I keep down I try to keep down negativity. It's just that lately, to be honest, like every time I seem to open up a blog, it's or even hear about the news, it's usually negativity these days. I don't know if anybody agrees with me. It's like it's getting worse. Like every time it's just this killing and that killing and that killing. And even when it's entertainment, right, it's kind of like the negative type of entertainment. Even though, don't get me wrong, I know by way of statistics that a lot of people tend to gear more towards the negative stuff, right? Like negative gist about other people. A lot of people tend to get more towards negativity. It gets more attention, let me put it that way. Negative stuff gets more attention. But yeah, like I was saying, so I used to try to avoid the negativity by going to the blogs and reading a bit of everything, but now it just seems like in everywhere you turn to, it's just negative stuff everywhere, right? It goes from stories about maybe even children, like in their teenage years, like 13 or something, a boy or girl of 13 stabbed or shot somebody or killed his girlfriend. You're thinking, at that age, I remember what I was doing at that age. Like, what would I be thinking, right? All the way to like an 80-year-old man or something killed his wife of 60 years. And you're thinking, what in 60 years could this woman have done that hasn't been forgiven? So a lot of it, a good percentage, like a small percentage, is like crime of passion. Another small percentage is just something that was done out of sheer anger or whatever. But a large percentage usually is what you get is people saying that, okay, they're doing like all these ritualistic killings for money or whatever it is. In my opinion, it's bullshit. I'm sorry, excuse my French, right? It's crap. I feel like that's the excuse people want to give themselves for killing or doing whatever it is they do, like, or doing negative stuff. It would, as far as I'm concerned, it would take a different kind of evil to carry out certain acts. I don't know if it's just me. It's something deep within. I mean, the money part is just the excuse people give themselves, like, okay, yeah, I did it to have money, or I killed this person for money, or I did that for money, or nah, it's something deep within. It's an evil that lies within. You have to be of that mindset. Do you understand? Like, if somebody, because as far as I'm concerned, for a lot of people, somebody would say, okay, I'll give you millions or whatever, take this gun and shoot that person. Do you understand? And it's usually not even a stranger. It's usually like someone within the family, or I'll give you whatever million to shoot this person. You would see a lot of people say, no, get away from me. I don't want that. Do you understand? It's not that deep. I don't have to have money in that way. Do you understand? But then again, you see some people that will say, oh yeah, what the hell, and just do it. To be inhumane enough to carry out certain acts, it has to come from a certain kind of mindset, right? There's got to be something deeper that is going on within. Do you understand? Even if you did it, like, what conscience would you have to spend that money? I don't know. I'm just saying, like, it takes something deep within. So I started to look it up. So I looked into psychopathy. I know, right? Yeah. Anyway, so because the only way I could compare, or the only way I could reason it in my head, do you understand, like, was I had to look into it was psychopathy. That was the only thing I could think about, because the last madness I saw, well, in the movies, was American Psycho. I watched a movie a long time ago, but it's been a while. I remember some of it, but the trait to just go out and kill and do it for nothing, I had to look into that, and the only thing that made sense was to look into psychopathy. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this is I remember when I first started my videos, and I used to talk about narcissism, and how people would laugh at me, like, oh yeah, I'm sure some guy hurt her and that's why she's now trying to call him out and call him a narcissist. A lot of people were laughing about it, like, what the hell is she talking about? What's narcissism was? No, don't get me wrong, like, a lot of people have that information, but even before I started the videos, I as well did not have all that information. Do you understand? So so people were laughing then, like, oh, I'm sure some guy hurt her and then she's mad about it and she's calling him a narcissist or whatever. But truth is, at the time, I was just excited because I finally had an answer or an explanation to something I'd been wondering about, for something that questions that had been plaguing me for so long. So at the time, I kind of just started to discover, do you understand, what narcissism was or what it was all about. Do you understand? So newsflash is that narcissism actually falls under psychopathy. I didn't know that. But the funny thing is, they all have the same traits. They just carry out whatever it is in different ways. I don't know if that makes sense. There's just subtle differences, right? They all have the exact, like, narcissists, right? Psychopaths, sociopaths, exactly the same traits. All the same. They all fall under psychopathy. That's the funny thing. So anyway, the difference is, like, very, very subtle. Like, okay, let's look at it one after the other, right? With psychopathy, the difference is that see, with psychopaths, and first of all, like I always say, my topics are science and spirituality, so most of the time I do have to pull on religious texts, right? There are references in the Bible to people, to lion energy, like I remember there's this part in Psalm 91. There are other parts, but there's one that says the young lion and the serpent I shall trample on the foot. But there's another I've been trying to remember, but I don't remember that refers to lion. And a lot of people kind of think that maybe a lot of people take it in literal terms, like, okay, maybe they're referring to a lion or a serpent or a scorpion or whatever it is. No, these things these things are energies as well that human beings actually carry. So when you see that a roaring lion or devouring lion or whatever else, sometimes in religious texts, like the Bible, for instance, like I always say, I don't know any other religion, so please bear with me. I do use the Bible because I'm familiar with that. So I wish I looked it up before I did this video, but I didn't. So sometimes when it refers to like a lion or serpent or scorpion, they're energies that people carry. So like psychopaths carry that sort of lion energy. It devours. It just, there's no time to waste time. A lion just wants to come, get its, kill its prey, eat it up, and get out. If you remember, if you watch that, if you remember in American Psycho, like the guy would literally just go out. Now it could be man, woman, please, it's not limited to gender or anything. It could be man, woman, but let's go back to reference to American Psycho. So the guy would go out, put up this artificial charm, be so charming. That's one thing they all have in common. Usually psychopaths, sociopaths, narcissists, extremely charming. The difference is that if you look at with psychopaths, right, their charm never really gets to their eyes. It's like a cold stare. It's like, knock knock, who's there? There's nobody in there. Do you understand? There's no soul. There's no, it's dead. Their eyes are usually dead. They're very charming, but dead stare. Do you understand? You can tell through their eyes. Like if you're one of those people that tend to watch people, you can tell that their stare is cold and dead. And do you understand? It never reaches their eyes. With psychopaths, I mean, with narcissists, they're a bit more. Do you understand? They can fake it a bit more. And the sociopaths are social creatures anyway. Do you understand? So they can fake it. But with psychopaths, I mean, the screw must have gone so loose that they can't even fake it's all in the eyes, you know. So anyway, what's it called? So with psychopaths, so I mean, in American Psycho, I'm analyzing just through that. The guy just goes to a bar, puts up this artificial charm. Do you understand? The girl falls for the guy, goes to his house, and he kills her. And he did that with so many victims with no remorse. I mean, one thing they don't have, they have zero conscience, zero remorse, zero empathy. They just don't care. There's nothing in there. Do you understand? You know how you do something bad and you feel bad about it? They can't. There's nothing in there, and you can tell through their eyes. It's like a cold stare. They can smile and be so charming, but their eyes, you can tell the smile never reaches their eyes. It's dead. So literally, they do all this bad stuff, right? And there's nothing. They don't feel bad. They feel nothing. Do you understand? I don't know how clinical that is, but there's something so off, like no soul. Do you understand? Like somebody has no soul. And like I said, it's not limited to gender. And if you actually look it up, it starts from a very young age. This is what I was talking about last week. You know, at the time, I'd not even really looked into it like that. But for all of them, most of the time, it starts from a very young age. You understand? They're dead inside. It's like dealing with a robot, like a zombie. Do you understand? I'm sure even a robot has more conscience. Like, literally zombie, like a walking dead. Do you understand? So they just do all this negative stuff. So they have that lion energy. They just come, devour, and they're gone. Do you understand? Literally. Now, the difference between them and narcissists is that narcissists, I think, hold more of that snake energy. If you look into religious texts like the Bible, it talks about the serpents, do you understand, and everything. It's an energy. Do you understand? Normally, if you go into the forest and you see a real serpent, you will run, right? But if a serpent is coming and tricking people, do you understand? Can trick. Like I said, people want to look at it in the literal sense, but in the non-literal sense, people carry that energy. A narcissist typically carries the snake energy. Do you understand? They're very, very devious, very, do you understand? Very cunning, extremely snaky. You know, that snake, devious, cunning energy. That's what they carry. So they're not like, they want to be adored. So they're not ready to get their hands dirty. They will, the way they do the bad stuff is they won't outrightly kill the victim. They will kill everything in the victim's life and have the victim do it themselves. Do you understand? They love to be adored by people, so they don't like to get their hands dirty. So normally, whilst the psychopath will just come and go straight for the kill and kill the person or whatever, no, they would manipulate people and let other people do their dirty work for them. So they work with flying monkeys and all those things. They would rather just tell lies on you, create smear campaigns, make everybody turn against you, and then you do the dirty work yourself. When you feel like the world is over and they've killed everything else in the person's life, so that person feels like, oh no, the world is over, so they commit suicide or whatever. So they don't like to get their hands dirty. Besides, they love to watch, like, okay, see, the end goal with all those people is to steal, kill, and destroy. That's the end goal. I mean, that's what it is. But with narcissists, they love to watch the victim suffer. Do you understand? They love to watch their victims suffer. So they like that slow kill. It's not like the psychopath that is ready to get it over with as soon as possible. They want to watch that victim suffer. So whilst they're telling lies on the person and the whole world is turning against the person and the person goes into depression and they put the person in isolation, all that stuff they enjoy. They actually love it so that they can kiki with their friends and laugh about it. And do you understand? And all that. They love that. They love to watch the victims suffer till, understand, till they're no more or whatever it is. Now with sociopath, oh, these ones are social creatures. They are amazing. So I would say they have more of that scorpion energy. Do you understand? That energy of throw stones and hide their hands. So they bite and then they run off and feel bad about it. So they can adapt. They're very social. They're very social. They're more the social. They're a bit of both. So they can either shift to whatever, do you understand, whatever suits them at that point. But normally with sociopaths, they can still have a bit of empathy. Sometimes they feel bad, like they're the ones that will do all the bad shit and then run off and feel bad about it. Do you understand? But then in their heads, what they would say is, oh, I can't believe, like for instance, like they do something bad to somebody and God forbid the person loses their lives or something. They'll be the ones to cry the most. Then they would go, oh my God, if only this person had not offended me or done this, I wouldn't have felt the need to do that bad to them. Oh my God, this is so terrible. They would literally feel bad, but they'll do the bad stuff. But then again, they would they'll try to what's the word, rationalize it in their heads. Like, okay, they'll give themselves a reason to feel it's okay, and that makes them feel better. So let's just say for whatever reason, maybe well, the person did lose their lives and they're carrying out a funeral. So they'll be the first ones at the funeral going, oh my God, I can't believe this person is dead. Oh my God. Put all the funeral cost on me. I would take care of everything. So for them, basically, it's an atonement of their sins. Do you understand? That's how they see it. So a sociopath is a typical, I can steal from somebody, but give 10% of it to an orphanage, and that makes it okay. Do you understand? If that makes, they always find reasons to rationalize the bullshit. So they would probably do something bad and it cost the person their lives or whatever, so they will take care of the entire funeral. I mean, that is an atonement for whatever it is they've done. So they have that scorpion energy, like throw stones, hide their hands. You understand? They will do something bad, run off, feel bad about it, and then try to atone for it, if that makes any sense. So this is, but everything really falls under psychopathy, and it takes something deep within, I mean, to be able to be of this mindset. But anyway, the question still remains, is it clinical or is it spiritual? I don't know. I mean, I've said some things now. I don't know how clinical that sounds to you, but here's how I see it and here's my explanation. So by reason of explanation, I'm just going to use this, if you don't mind. So before I use this, so let's just say this is explanation, right? The energy source. So who is God? Like, if I can't really explain that, but God resides, from what we know, religious text, in the heavens of heavens. God is an energy source. God is light. God is the source of creation. God is God is light. God is love. God is unconditional love. Most of all, God is light. Do you understand? God is light. God is love. God is the energy source. God is everything, basically. So we understand God. So now the opposite, well, not the opposite, the negative, who is the devil. Like I always say, I hate to use the word devil in my videos, so I would use the word Freddy Krueger. So I just hate to use the word devil in my video. So who is Freddy? Okay, so the normal explanation is, oh, Freddy is this evil, deadly creature, bad, horrible, blah 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 blah. Now, if you pull a religious text, well, the Bible, for instance, says the devil, or Freddy, is a fallen angel, right? Now, so we've explained the two parts. So now let's go back to God. So God is in the heavens. And obviously, from what we know about God and the heavens, there are angels there. Everything is pretty and rosy and all that. Do you understand? There are angels there. There's the energy source there. Do you understand? And all that. And they're all in the light. Now, keep in mind that if Freddy is a fallen angel, what Freddy was first was an angel. And if I'm pulling on religious text again, Freddy used to be a musician in heaven with God, the energy source. So Freddy used to be here in the light. Now Freddy is known as the ruler of the world, the king of the earth, or sorry, not the king of the earth, the ruler of the world. Do you understand, or whatever it is? So what happened? He's a fallen angel, so he fell away from light. Do you understand? And fell into the world, right? So that's an explanation. So now, a lot of people also say that Freddy is the opposite of God, and I disagree. There's no opposite of God. There's nothing like God. Do you understand? Because God is everything and everything is God. So there's no opposite. What you have is the absence of God, the absence of light, the absence of unconditional love. Do you understand? You can't have the opposite. So Freddy, or the devil, Freddy, do you understand, used to be part of the light. Then he fell away. He's a fallen angel. He fell away from the light. He fell away, which means he's now residing in the absence of light. Do you understand? Now, so we understand that basic, right? Now this is the thing. So if you're in the absence of light, you're in darkness, right? Now I want you to imagine this, right? You're walking, you're in a house and there's light everywhere. Do you understand? Then you step out of the house. I mean, whilst you're in the house, right, the trees rustle outside. You can tell it's the trees, right? Because you can see everything clearly. A piece of paper moves or whatever it is. You can tell it's a piece of paper because you can see it clearly. So what happens when you step out of the house into the night? Or let's say at night. Do you understand? At night, midnight. So what happens? You walk away from the light. Do you understand? You walk into the dark, into the absence of light. Now, so you now take a walk into a forest, and then you hear a rustle. You get scared, won't you? Because you don't know exactly what it is. Why? Because you're in the dark. You hear something go past you, or you hear something move past you. You don't know what it is because you're in the dark. Do you understand? Now, here's the thing about being in the dark. People that are in the dark have distortions. You have to have distortions because you can't see clearly what is moving or what is rustling or what's near you. Do you understand? So typically you would have distortions. And what is distortion? It's a negative image or a negative belief about something. Do you understand? So even when it's just I don't know, like maybe a dog that runs somewhere in the forest, you probably think it's a lion. Do you understand? Because you're in the dark, you can't see it clearly, so it's distortions, right? So now, people in the dark obviously have distortions. Now, God is unconditional love. If you're in God, like if you're somebody that believes in God, you're somebody that serves God genuinely, right? You're part of the unconditional love, and you have to have, and then you have unconditional love towards yourself and towards others. And how do you show that? It's how you treat other people or what you do to other people. Do you understand? That's how you show it, and that's how people know that you're part of God. You're in unconditional love. Because if you're good to other people, if you can't be good to the people you can see, how much more the God you can't see? Do you understand? So being genuinely part of God is being genuinely of the light. Or you're genuinely somebody that has genuine unconditional love towards yourself and towards others. Now that's because you're in the light. If you're somebody that is not in the light, you're in the dark, you will have distortions. So rather than have unconditional love towards yourself and towards others, you would have distortions about yourself and negative beliefs about others. Now, if you're not dwelling in unconditional love, and you're in the dark, the opposite side of that is anger, jealousy, envy, death, whatever. Do you understand? All the negative stuff. Do you understand? Because if you genuinely love somebody, you don't seek to hurt them. You wish them well. Do you understand? You're not envious of them. You might like something they have. Do you understand? And you want to get it for yourself as well. You're not trying to kill them for it. You're not trying to destroy them for it. Do you understand? So if you're in the dark, you have distortions, which is negative beliefs, rather than pray for, okay, oh, I like this person's job or whatever. Oh, do you understand what process does this person go through to get this job? No, you want to destroy them. Do you understand? Because they have that job. You have a negative belief. Do you understand that you're not good enough? That's the negative belief. You're not good enough to attain such a position is the only reason why you seek to destroy that person. If you are in the light and, do you understand, you are of unconditional love, and you see somebody that has a great job and you love it, and you're like, you know, you'd rather go to the person and say, oh, I'm really happy for you, but what steps did you take to get here? Do you understand? Oh, I studied, I did this, I did that, I did the crash course, I did this. Do you understand? And then you want to emulate that. You might even end up getting a better position. Do you understand? But if that's because you are of unconditional love, the last thing you're thinking is seeking to hurt that person. But if you're in the dark, you obviously have distortions. Oh, this person, oh, you think you're the only one that can have that sort of job, I'll destroy you. Do you understand? That is somebody that is in the dark. Now, people that have distortions like anger, jealousy, rage, envy, death, blah 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 blah, seek to kill, steal and destroy, who are those people? Narcissists, psychopaths, sociopaths, toxic people in general. That's because they're so far off, so far away, so removed from the light. Do you understand? So removed from the source, so removed from unconditional love. That's why they're in the negative, hatred, jealousy, anger, killing, lies, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, all the things. Because if you look at the attributes of God, those are the things God hates. Do you understand? So they are everything God hates. They're in the dark. They have distortions. So these are the people that are so removed. Do you understand? That's the thing about being in the dark. You're somebody, once you're in the dark, you will have distortions. Do you understand? Distortions being negative beliefs about other people or about yourself. Do you understand? So these are people that are far away from the light. They are not even close. If you're in a house that is all lit up and you step outside, you're still close. I mean, the shadow of the light can still see into the dark. So if a bird or a rat runs through, you can still see, kind of. Do you understand? But once you're so far off in the dark, if a rat runs through, you don't even know it's a rat. You think it's a lion. Do you understand? Once you're so far off, if somebody does something and they don't even mean to, you take it the other way. Do you understand? You take it the other way. You want to destroy them, you want to kill them, you want to do this, because they are so far off. They're so removed from unconditional love. They can't have love. They're so far off. They're so far in the dark. And that's how I see it. Do you understand? That's, for me, I don't think that's clinical at all. Do you understand? I don't want to enforce my opinion on anyone. I'm just putting it out there that from my own point of view, I believe people that do certain things, this mental health conditions, like a lot of people, when they hear mental health, they think it's all madness. Oh, this person has run mad. No, not really. There are all sorts of mental health. I'm just talking about the extreme parts. So insomnia, not being able to sleep, is a mental health condition. Amnesia, forgetting things, is a mental health. So there are all sorts of mental health conditions. You understand? Some are clinical because they are not like so far off. Like people that lose their senses through shock, that's clinical and can be remedied. I'm not talking about people with like dangerous mental health conditions, like, do you understand, like antisocial personality disorders and all those, like psychopathy, narcissism. These are people I feel are so far off in the dark. That's why they have distortions. Do you understand? Negative beliefs about themselves and negative beliefs about other people. Do you understand? Anyway, so that's my opinion. That's just the way I see it, and I think the video is long enough. So well, I'm throwing it out there for other people to consider, because it is getting worse. It's getting worse by the day. And like I said, I remember starting this video, it was like, what the hell are you talking about? But now, I mean, just even today I had this discussion with like about 5 people. Do you understand? We're all arguing about it, and everybody's like, okay, it's getting worse. Like everywhere you turn to, you're seeing people hacking and hacking and hacking. It takes a certain kind of mindset to be able to carry out acts like that. Do you understand? And unfortunately, in my part of the world, mental health is not something that is really diagnosed. It's not something that is really considered. People just say, oh yeah, that person they're bad, they're doing it for money. That's the cover up. That's the reason they give themselves, to make it sound better. There's something deeper going on within, and that's how I see it. Anyway, do have a beautiful week. I love you all. Stay blessed. Have a lovely week. Namaste. Peace.